Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Hope you're ready for a long holiday weekend here in the States. And we're going to ease you into that weekend with some fun Disney talk as Scott and Pam Forrester join me for today's show. And we continue last Friday's show where we compare Walt Disney World experiences to experiences out in the real world. Last week, we talked about restaurants, chain restaurants, compared those to Walt Disney World. We do a little bit more of that this week, but we also expand that into hotels and retail experiences. We had so much fun and got a lot of great feedback last week. So we thought we'd talk about where's the Walmart of Walt Disney World and what hotel chains are comparable to Walt Disney World hotels and so forth. So we also throw in some Baskin Robbins and Cracker Barrel and stuff like that, but we have more fun on today's show, so hopefully you can play right along with us and ease into your Labor Day weekend. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. Couldn't do it without your help. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this weekend. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2754 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you and welcome to the Labor Day weekend here in the United States. Hope you have a great long weekend planned. Lots of football, lots of family fun. And our buddy Scotty G has lots of sand in his toes coming up this weekend. Excited for him. Can't wait to see all the coverage and hear all the fun when he gets back. We'll have to talk about that in the next little bit here on the podcast. Always love those post-cruise trip reports. So Scott will have lots to talk about the Disney Dream here soon. So joining us, we're recording this one before he gets out of town, headed down to Fort Lauderdale to hop on the Dream. Scotty G reporting from Must See Adventure Central. What's up, Scott?
Happy Friday, Mike. It's 3-day cruises are weird, right? They're just too darn quick. You board the ship and then the next thing you know, you're leaving. But as I always say, a 3-day cruise is better than a 0-day cruise. So let's have an awesome weekend. And I know I want to bring Pam in on this because I'm kind of curious what she thinks about this too, but I know you haven't had to introduce her, but there's these rumors going around that Lighthouse might have the 5K now. Cause like, I know they've had merchandise like in their gift shop, for the 5K. And I've seen this photo on the interwebs about a medal. And I heard you say, Mike, that you wouldn't even consider running it because you think it'd be too hot on that island. And I'm curious if you want to elaborate on that. You don't have to right now, but I found that kind of interesting as a guy that likes to run every morning.
That's a good question. We get Pam Forrester in her. She's the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, getting ready to enjoy her long weekend after moving her daughter into a townhouse. So she labored. Now it's time to enjoy the toils of that labor by relaxing all weekend. Pam Forrester, happy Friday. What's up?
Right. And it proved to me this is why I work indoors. This is probably more my forte. No, so the 5K is being run at Lighthouse Point. I have seen the medals as well. But I will say, Tim and Audie, who both work for our agency, were just there not too long ago. And when they were there, they actually hiked the nature trail. And they said it was really beautiful. So now they're also from Texas and used to hot weather. But the great thing about this is, Mike, is that when you're done, you have that beautiful, beautiful water to be rewarded with. And can it really be that much more hot than it is at Castaway Key on that runway stretch? There's a few stretches on the 5K course there that you're like, oh my goodness, how can it be this much hotter out here? So I don't know, but yeah.
Well, so here's the thing I think about Lighthouse is that so Scott and I walked the nature trail. Now that's not going to be where you run because that's like total gravel and
Right.
rocky and stuff. So that would awesome. Everybody should do that though. We loved it. Like there's little markers
Yeah.
for the wildlife and all. It's really in the payoff when you get to the end of the trail. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Like you got to do that. That's just don't get lost. We got lost. But it was part of the adventure as always. But I think the course to run at Lighthouse is going to be along the road where the shuttle goes because I saw the signs and it's going to be hilly. It's going to have some hills and it's not going to, and it's going to be out in the sun. And so like we were there in July. I don't know if I want any of that. I'm not a hill person. So the thing I like about Castaway Key is it's flat as a pancake and you do run through the jungle twice. I call it the jungle when you do the jungle loop. And my strategy in that, when I do that and I run it first as early as I can, like I'm the first one off the ship and I get it done like ASAP. Like I try to get it in the coolest period time I can. I run from every patch of shade I can find. Like I zigzag, like no matter where the patch of shade is. If you look at my like thing on Runkeeper, it's probably like because I go from every patch of shade I can get. I just don't think you're going to get any shade. And I think it's going to be like hilly because those tram things go up a hill. And I don't like any, I'm a big bit. I know I'm just a whiny little baby, but I do, because I'm a treadmill person. I do not like, when I see elevation climb of like 6 feet, I'm like, ooh, no thanks. But that's just me. I'll probably do it though so I can get the medal, but I won't like it.
I feel like you're going to do it once. I know you are.
I don't,
So
I'd rather do Castaway because it is flat as a pancake. It's just, it is, but yeah.
Not everyone runs on a treadmill.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Dude, I'm old.
A little
I
know.
Dude, and it's also 5 degrees every day. And like, there's an iPad and podcast in my ears. It's great. People are like, how do you do a treadmill? I'm like, how do you do hills? How do you run in the dark?
How do you run and look at the same landscaping each time?
Exactly. Dude, I used to run around the lake like 58 laps every morning, but like sometimes deer would just pop out at me, like startled me. I'd come around the corner. A buck would be there.
Deer will do that.
And I'm not talking about Jonathan in Minnesota either. Like it'd be a buck for real buck. Like it'd be looking at me, it'd give me a heart attack right as the sun's coming up. Like he'd be gone, I'd be gone. Like we'd be scaring each other to death. It doesn't happen on the treadmill. Every once in a while, I'll take a misstep, fires me back into the wall, wakes you up and you're good to go. Anyway, all right, let's do this topic. So last Friday, and we had a lot of folks on social media reach out and say, man, that show was wild. I don't know if it was great, but it was different. And we're like, thanks, I think. So if you missed it, go back and listen to Friday's show. What we did was we tried to draw comparisons to experiences with restaurants at Walt Disney World to chain restaurants around the country. Chick-fil-A, Red Robin. Scott threw in a Qdoba / Chipotle kind of experience, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, and so forth. We didn't know if we were complimenting Walt Disney World restaurants, dogging on Walt Disney World restaurants, somewhere in between, but we had a good time with it. I was sad because Pam Forster wasn't here to participate in the party. So I said, we're going to do this again this week, kind of throw out some experiences that, like we did last Friday, but we're not going to limit it this time, maybe necessarily to restaurants. We're going to do some more restaurants because there's so many more that we could have done. But also we could throw in some retail, like a store experience at Walt Disney World, a shopping experience. Also maybe hotel experiences. Because I was thinking about this on the treadmill, speaking of the treadmill this morning on my run. I was thinking like, if I wanted a Great Wolf Lodge, I just gave it away. If I wanted a Wilderness Lodge experience, there are these experiences around the country. And one time this truly happened to us. This was like when Paige was, I want to say like 10 or 11. It was dead of winter. And, like we had cabin fever. Like we're in, the Midwest. It was cold. It was snowy. We just wanted to do something for like 2 days. And I was like, oh man, I love Wilderness Lodge in the winter. We went to a Great Wolf Lodge thinking it would be the same thing. And it kind of was like the theming. It had the big fireplaces, But I don't know if you've ever been to a Great Wolf Lodge, but they have like an indoor water park is like their gig, or is like their whole like thing. Like you get this pass to an indoor water park. They also have, like, we went to a cheerleading competition one weekend up in the Dells in Wisconsin, and it's kind of the exact same. Actually, there was a Great Wolf Lodge we were in a place called Kalahari, but across the parking lot there was a Great Wolf Lodge, and so you get your room, and it's all kind of cabiny, right? And it's kind of cool. But like you do the indoor water park, and they have concessions and all kinds of stuff, which is kind of fun, but I was disappointed. It wasn't Wilderness Lodge. Like, I'm sad.
It's not.
No, it's not. Like instead of the whiff of like the skillet coming from Whispering Canyon, all it was chlorine and kids screaming. Like, and we had to drive all the way out to Kansas, like to go to this place. It wasn't in Missouri. Like we drove 4.5 hours past Kansas City, all the way out to like Overland Park, Kansas or somewhere. It was way far. And I was thinking, I'm going to get a weekend like at Wilderness Lodge. No, I got kids screaming. I got chlorine instead of like sizzling.
There's like a
bacon.
giant arcade too.
Yes, dude. I
blew a bunch of money there too.
I hate arcades. Like, so I was just like, dude, I got scammed. But, you know, it had the aesthetics of a Wilderness Lodge, but it was a miss. But that was what I was thinking. So that's where I'm going with like a hotel experience that I thought was Wilderness Lodge. Boom, 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 boom. No, it was not. So, Scott, do you have, let's ease Pam into this. Give her some thoughts. We go restaurants, stores, hotels, anything at Walt Disney World, like draw some comparisons, good, bad. What do you
So I'll play how we did it last week. So we gave like the chain place, and then we had to say what Walt Disney World, you know, icon or representation we thought that was. So I'll start with the store this time because we did a bunch of restaurants last time. So what would you consider to be the Walmart of Walt Disney World?
I like
so when you think of Walmart, right, you think like they got it all, right? I mean, you can buy what, like your tires, your clothes, you can get groceries. I mean, you can get like so much stuff at a Walmart, right? And you can also see some characters at a Walmart.
Oh, dude,
right?
It could be great Friday night entertainment if you wanted to.
Yeah, great Friday night entertainment. They're really big stores. So, and I think most listeners here, even like our friends in other countries, know what a Walmart is. They come to Florida, they visit Walt Disney World.
They build that into their touring plan, like our European friends. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So I don't know who wants to kick it off. If they have one in mind, what they think the Walmart is of Walt Disney World.
This is going to be bad.
I think gotta be like the Emporium, like the main store right there.
But like, but you got it like right at like park closing, right?
Oh yes. You have to be there at park closing with the masses.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes,
and it should be a park closing when there's also a party that's going to be happening.
100%.
I mean, it's got to be
like
and
on
it
Halloween,
has to be
like
a
on
million
Halloween.
degrees.
Yes,
a million degrees.
Yes,
and yes, you're there and you're over there by Casey's, so you're smelling like the hot dogs and the sauerkraut as it sort of rolls through, right?
Yes, sauerkraut. I love it.
I love it. That's so good.
This is what this is bringing to me. Every time, first of all, I have probably bought many things at the Emporium, and yet every time I'm there, I'm like, what am I doing in this store? Like like you're always behind someone who manages to be all over in front of you. Like you zig, they've already zigged in front of you. Like you zag, they're doing the same thing. Their whole family is taking up the whole freaking aisle, and you're just like, okay, I want to punch these people first of all, and then why is it always like
you
that?
can't because you're a social media darling. You cannot punch people, Pam Forrester.
I know. Well, hello. I'm just like I try to hold it together,
yes.
but I have these thoughts. You're like, why are these people? And the kids being bad, right? Like kids lose their religion in the Emporium, especially late at night, and parents as well, right?
And parents lose their kids because the thing is, like, here's the deal,
like
that and like the whole layout of that whole side of the street is like a beauty. It's like a blessing and a curse, the kind of thing, right? Because like the thing goes the whole street, right? So like a kid could be in the main, like the part down by the barber shop, and then all of a sudden they're in the middle section, which is, I don't know, like the the celebration of the minute, and then they could end up in the section that's supposed to be like the sporting goods, and then they could end up like getting
Yes.
sauerkraut on them at Casey's. All of a sudden, you don't know where they
Yes.
are. The kid's gone.
It's bad. Parents are not watching their kids,
No.
or their kid is freaking out and pitching a fit about something that they're not able to get. And I just so often I want to be like, parent your child. Everyone in here, there could be a general announcement that gets played every 5 minutes. Please parent your child. If that means if they're pitching a fit, you either are intentionally ignoring them but keeping them in sight, or whatever, like give some prompts to like help people. You know, it's been a long day, but you still have to know where your kid is, like all these things. It is kind of the Walmart of
I love it.
It's
different
exactly the
things.
same at the Emporium at Disneyland, though. It's exactly the same.
It is.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a
you're
free
right.
for all out there too. Like there's no different on the
right.
coast. Like there
always seems to be a line to check out.
it's wild. Yeah, and that's absolutely the answer. Yeah, I mean, and late at night, man, it becomes like Hunger Games. Like it's Black Friday. I mean,
So I
And if
did
there
have
was
a different
something-
answer.
did you? Okay,
very-
what do you got though?
It was very similar because I went with that one and the one I was going to give. So I like to have multiple answers, right? So, and the reason I was going to go with this one because you could have easily drunk people going here, which I think adds some of that Walmart flair. And that was going to be World of Disney because that
Yeah.
can get so
That's
chaotic
true.
too.
Yeah,
Because you could just have people that have been hanging out at Disney
That's
Springs
true,
all
that's
day
true.
and night. And like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let's buy some souvenirs at World of Disney.
that's true.
And then people could just be like scrambling for like their last minute souvenirs for the whole
Yes.
trip, and then people get lost in
Yeah,
that
it's the
store
whole
like
thing.
crazy.
Those stores are so big. Like
I lose my family every time I'm in that store.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you turn around, you're like, Pam, look at this. Boom. Where'd my family go? Like dude, every time I'm like, I turned around to look at a hat and like everybody's gone.
And then like
Boom.
I mobile check out like 25 minutes ago. I'm ready to
Yes.
go. I'm walking around holding my stuff that I've already checked out with, and like I don't know where my
No
family
back.
is. Like, and there's like chaos happening everywhere in the store. So kind of Emporium vibe, but like I was gonna go with World of Disney as my answer.
That's a
That's
good answer,
true.
too.
And the mobile checkout too, it's like that adds a whole nother level.
That still
of
makes me feel like I'm
craziness to
semi
things.
shoplifting. Like I still get nervous about that. Like I'm still scared, like with the mobile checkout thing, even though I've talked to somebody, like I'm gonna buzz when I go through the door.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Right.
like I'm 5% shoplifting with that. Like it's just it doesn't seem right.
You aren't though. Look at your bill.
I know exactly. Trust me, I've paid for like mine and the person behind me apparently.
Right. Exactly.
Like I'm doing the thing around here. Like there's a whole thing. I don't know if you guys have this in your town. Again, here it's Friday, it's a holiday weekend. Nobody's listening. So there's a Christian radio station called Joy 99.1 or something. And so like all the listeners have these stickers on their cars. And there's a notorious thing that like in the McDonald's drive-through that Joy 99 listeners will pay for the person behind them's bill, like especially in the morning, like for breakfast. And so like if you're in the McDonald's drive-through and you see somebody in front of you with like a Joy 99 circle, like
Yeah.
oval on their car, your chances are you're probably getting a free breakfast. It's like a, an outreach kind of thing. And so like, that's how I feel. Like sometimes I'm like, I think I got fleeced. Like, I think I just bought the person behind me's merch, or like at a restaurant. I'm like, did I just buy the next table's bill? Also a meal. It's like, dude, was that really? Anyway, that's kind of that. But if people
You're
are saying,
like,
do you
"No,
guys have like, do you have something like that at your like restaurants, like your drive-throughs? That is like a thing in St. Louis. Like it happens all the time. Like, oh yeah, so the person in front of you bought your meal. It happens more
Well,
than
we
you think.
do like sometimes on Starbucks there will be a run like that people will buy,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But for
It's big at
whoever's
McDonald's
behind.
around here, and it's always it's the Joy 99 listeners. It's like a
The
thing.
Joy 99
Yeah.
listeners.
You don't have that in Michigan, Scott?
I mean, same with Pam. Like you'll see a little bit every now and then. A Starbucks will pick it up, but not really. No.
It's McDonald's. And it's Joy 99. That's always you see the sticker.
Maybe I'm
you're
not
like,
going to
"Oh."
the right places. I guess.
Right?
It happens to my father-in-law all the time. And when it happened, because he always goes like they kind of live out in the country, and like he always says, "I'm going into town for my breakfast," and he always goes to McDonald's. And if it happens to him, he calls us every time. He's
Oh
like,
my gosh,
because he'll
that's
call
so
Pam and he'll
sweet.
be like, "Pam, I got one of those Joy 99 people bought my breakfast. They're the best." Oh, like, good for you. All right, Pam. Good. Okay, you haven't got to do this yet. What do you got for us?
I know I
Let's go.
haven't, and I'm like feeling like ill prepared, I will say. But
Nah.
so what is so here's what I was thinking. I was trying to think of a resort outside of Walt Disney World that is sort of conducive to like a Walt Disney World experience. So, and the one that I thought of was one that sort of reminded me of Port Orleans Riverside. So I was wondering if you guys had one that you were thinking of that is sort of Port Orleans Riverside, like what would be sort of a Riverside sort of experience
A
for you?
Riverside experience. So I was thinking more like chains. Like I was thinking like I'm trying to think what's most kind of like outside of rivers. So like
So what is
swampy.
so
I'm trying to think
let's
like
do that. So
swampy.
like what reminds you the most of like a moderate resort? Like what chain do you feel like is most like a Disney moderate resort?
Let's see. So a chain that's the most
So I feel like
moderate.
a Hilton kind of maybe
La
is kind of where
Quinta?
I'm thinking.
Is that too cheap? Is a La Quinta a
What
value? I don't even know.
yeah,
La
La
Quinta would be a
would
value, would be like
Back
an
in the
all-star
day, La
sports
Quinta
movie.
was nice. Like I used to think, like when I first went to space camp in 2001, they put me up at a La Quinta, and I thought it was fancy in Huntsville. But I guess
There
times
are
have
some
changed.
nicer La Quintas for sure, but
I hadn't
I will say
traveled
that's
much
probably
back
not
then.
the norm.
Yeah, probably not now, because that was back in 2001, and I hadn't been out of St. Louis hardly at that point, and I thought it was a big deal. Yeah, I'm probably with you. So yeah, maybe a Hyatt. Yeah.
I think like it's like a moderate type thing. And on the same level, so what would you think is comparable to a value? Like
A Days Inn.
A Holiday Inn would be what I would say is like a Holiday Inn Express or something might
that's
be. Or
funny.
A Holiday Inn. I'd
I
say a
was like
Holiday Inn's
thinking
maybe
sort
a
of like a
moderate.
Hampton Inn. Like a
okay,
Hampton Inn
maybe.
is fine,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Every
it's
time you
fine.
go to a Hampton, they're fine. They're usually clean.
A Days Inn, I would say, is a
A
value.
DoubleTree maybe like
The DoubleTree. Yeah, I
Is
know.
DoubleTree where you get the cookie? Like, do they give
It
you
Yes,
is.
like a
yes,
cookie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Those are
And
good
there's
cookies too.
there are some nicer DoubleTrees too. It's really hard to think of
It
like
is.
a Disney like when because we're trying to talk to people about it. It's like no, the beauty of a Disney resort is it's not like a chain. Like it truly is not. Each one has its own personality and it's so themed and things like that. But I was thinking of at Dollywood, there's the Dreammore Resort, and it sort of reminds me of Port Orleans Riverside. Like that was sort of in
That's a good
my
idea.
brain where I was going with that. Like it's kind of a cool experience. It's very themed. Both of her official hotels are very themed and like that. But do you guys have any like things that are near you that are very themed like a Disney resort?
So I was thinking that
You
too.
do.
So I could it wouldn't be a chain, but like so the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, it has like that really like long like white porch. I mean, it says grand in the name, so it kind of has like a Grand Floridian or what vibe, but like the long porch reminds me of like the Yacht and Beach Club. You know how they have like that long porch out there and like there's some rocking chairs even. So I always get like a every time I go to the Grand Hotel, I just feel like I'm at like a deluxe Disney type resort. Even though the rooms the rooms are like 1960s 70s, they don't refurbish those rooms, they are as retro as they can be, but the grounds themselves, like the building exterior and things like that, are very Disney-ish deluxe, I would say.
That's cool.
What about you, Mike? Is there
See,
something themed?
we don't have a lot of themes. Like we have a lot, like where we live, like we have a lot of like bed and breakfast right on the Missouri River there in like historic St. Charles on Main Street. But yeah, I wouldn't say anything that's comparable. Now Branson is doing like Dollywood because they're very comparison. Silver Dollar City is very like Dollywood, and they've just announced a huge like investment where they're bringing a bunch of hotels. They're just starting building down there, so they'll have hotels that are themed just like that in the next like 3 or 4 years, which I'm excited because they're gonna make it more of like they're doing the same thing where people go there instead of just going to Silver Dollar City. Because when you go there, they have just wretched hotels like on this strip, and it's just terrible. But if they're trying to make it more of a destination like Pigeon Forge and all that stuff, Dollywood, so they'll have that, which I'm excited for. But they don't now. Like we stayed in just a danky little hotel. It was terrible. Oh, when we went to Silver Dollar City was amazing, but like the hotel was just terrible. I mean, it was probably like Walt Disney World back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, like when people stayed on 192. I mean, that's exactly what I probably thought. Like that was what the experience was for a lot of people. I tried to draw that comparison. That's a good question.
So there's a really cool little, well, I don't know how cool it is anymore, but we had stayed together. So there's a hotel called the Madonna Inn, and it's in San Luis Obispo, California. And it is one of those hotels where each room has its own over the top theme.
So that's kind
Like
of the Grand
room,
Hotel. Yeah.
every room is different. But these, Mike, you would love it because these rooms are super kitschy.
Oh, I'd love that.
Like there is like jungle rock room,
Yes.
and you know what I mean? Like, and the shower is like made of rocks and whatever. I'm trying to think. There's like a bridal fall room. There's all these different rooms that are so over the top crazy. You'll have to look it up because each room is so crazy different. But we did stay there and it was an experience. Let's just say that. It was it is so like 70s. Like this is right out of the Love Boat, really.
Yes.
Like someone would have gotten off the Love Boat and then drove to San Luis Obispo and stayed here.
That's where
because
Gopher stayed.
it is so over the top. But there's about like I love when a hotel leans into a theme. Like that's
Sure.
fun. That's different. That's it's not a Marriott, which you can stay out everywhere. It's not, something you can stay at in every town. And I think that's one of the things I like so much about, Disney World, but this whole thing. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have like a whole lot of themed hotels around here. It's sad now that I think about it. Because like we have a nice Drury, which is great, but it's no theme.
Does Columbia have a graduate? Do you know? So like here in East Lansing, we have something called the Graduate. I know Ann Arbor has one too. So it's like themed to like your university, which is really cool. So like
I don't think so. We have a Broadway
so
hotel.
like you go to the bathroom and the toilet is like here in East Lansing, it's like maize and blue because it's like Michigan's colors.
I think
like,
we
that's how it, like,
we
it
do
is.
have a hotel that has that, but I think it's Broadway.
Okay.
I've seen maybe it's in a bar though. I don't think that's in the hotel. I think it might be at Harpo's. Yeah, I think I've urinated in one of those somewhere at some point. It was
Yeah, it's
like
kind of funny.
It was a Jayhawk. September 6th is coming. Okay, so here's mine.
Yeah, you got one, Mike?
Oh yeah, so what's the most Baskin Robbins location at Walt Disney World for ice cream? 31 flavors. I mean, this one's pretty simple, I think.
Where you can get so many flavors. Like I'm thinking, so I kind of want to go salt and straw.
That's what I would say it is because of the flavor.
But their flavors are so unique. Where I think Baskin Robbins doesn't go like as
they don't because
they're more
older.
traditional with
Yeah.
their flavors. I would say but it's the quantity, it's the offerings of
Yes.
flavors. So where I think the vibe of salt and straw, if you take out just like how obscure, which I like, by the way, how obscure their flavors are, I think that would be my closest resemblance would be salt and straw. I think to Baskin Robbins.
That's what I was thinking too, because it's more like the whole system of how you get your ice cream at a traditional, like the Baskin Robbins of old that I remember. Like I go with my grandparents, like at the mall, you would go up to the counter, they'd have all the hard, containers there. You could sample if you wanted to, and go down the line and get a couple scoops on a cone. And that's kind of how salt and straw works. Of course, salt and straw is for the now with all the wild and crazy flavors and so forth, but it's really the same concept. Pam, do you have any other thoughts on that kind of a Baskin Robbins for the here and now?
No, I think it's the best example of that because there aren't that many like ice cream places at Disney World that have that many different flavors even of ice cream.
Yeah,
was
because
just
there's that boardwalk shop that they kind of has some, right? Like the old Ample Hills. But
I would
there's
say
not
they
many,
have.
though,
I would
right?
say they. If I'm guessing, I would say maybe they have like a dozen flavors at the most, maybe 10. I don't even know if they have that. They used to have
Yeah.
more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know. It's so weird to think about that. Like my local ice cream shop is like way better than most of the ice cream shops in Disney World in terms of like what they offer, the different flavors that they offer, even the different ice creams that they offer. I mean, think about it. When you go to Disney World, there's really not that many even flavors or things you can get. You can maybe get like a little sundae, you can maybe get whatever. Beaches and Cream has some, but again, there are very few flavors at Beaches and Cream. That's interesting to think about that.
I guess it has to be an efficiency kind of thing, right? I mean, think about on Main Street at the Magic Kingdom, I mean, there's only probably on the menu there 5 or 6 different flavors of ice cream and probably like 6 different offerings, like a sundae, an ice cream sandwich, the All American sundae. I don't even know if they have shakes. I think they think they do have shakes, but they only have, they have such a limited menu. But I guess that helps get people in and out, which is what you need, and they're not lacking selling stuff. So, but yeah, it is kind of interesting though. Not a
It
Baskin Robbins
is the
experience.
fact that there's just not that many.
I guess it slows you down if you're like having to make 31 decisions. Yeah, because I could see that though, right? I mean, think about a kid. Well, it's kind of like a freestyle Coke machine situation. Like you have a kid up there and you have 31 choice. Yeah, that would be a mess. Yeah, so they're probably doing it right if you think about it. If you only have X amount of choices, people can get in and out faster. That's probably why they're doing it. All right, Scott, what you got?
Okay, so this place is closed now, but and I don't think it was all across the country, but I just had to quick Google it. I had to fire up the old Google machine, and it was in all 3 of our home states. So I think you two should remember it. But do you remember Chi-Chi's from back in the day?
Yes.
I do not. I don't know what a Chi-Chi's
Oh,
is.
Yes.
You don't know Chi-Chi's, Mike?
I do not know Chi-Chi's.
You would go, they'd put a sombrero on you for your birthday and take a Polaroid of you.
Oh, dude, I'd be there because I've never heard of this, but this sounds like
so now you're getting the vibe though from
yes,
right
a
here.
Mexican
now.
restaurant, I guess, a chain.
And I heard that they might be like making a comeback.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
Okay, so it's like an old 90s, early 2000s like Mexican restaurant. I can't believe you, because it said they were in Missouri. Oh man, that's a bummer that you missed out on it, Mike. So not existing anymore, but I was trying to think of what other Mexican like chain sit down restaurants there were. Chi-Chi's is like the only one I could think of. So I'm just gonna go with Chi-Chi's. So it's like your Mexican restaurant. You got the sombrero with the Polaroid, your big margaritas, things like that. So what would be your Walt Disney World Chi-Chi's? And I'll go out there just because I was younger with the Chi-Chi's, and just like my visual, like I just remember it being like very dark in there, and like it had like this cool theme. So I'm just thinking of the Sandhill restaurant and Epcot. It's kind of like what my visual is. It wasn't as like upscale as that, I would say, but like just like that theming with the darkness. I don't know why I just have like this visual of that being dark, and then like all the tortilla chips that you want and things like that too. Right. But I just feel like that's the kind of vibe that I would get would be that restaurant there in Epcot.
So was it kind of like a Chili's level service but Mexican restaurant? Kind of what you're saying?
Kind of, I would say. Wouldn't you say, Pam?
Yeah, I would. It is sort of like that. Like there were a lot of like fried entrees. There's like a chimichanga and a fried ice cream and things like that. I don't even know that. I don't know if chimichanga is even an authentic Mexican dish. I'm not sure.
Who cares? Really. It's so good. Who cares?
It's an Americanized version.
It's like it, but maybe I'm just supposing this. Maybe it is. But yes, there were, a lot of like too. I remember, and this could have been like toward the end, but you could find like a seafood inspired like chimichanga and stuff like that, which was basically shrimp and faux crab in some kind of creamy sauce that was shoved into a chimichanga. So it was a lot of stuff like that. So
yeah, if I had to say, maybe I would throw in, that's a tough one because there's not a lot of super kind of casual Mexican places, but man, I'm trying to go between like, because we went to Rosa Mexicana, which I thought was more casual than I was expecting. I thought that place would be super fancy, and it was not as fancy as I expected, which I was glad about. But more Maya Grill, like that's not super fancy either. I mean, because we've had like that long stretch table for like celebrations, and we've
I think Maya Grill's like actually Maya Grill could be a good pick because like the decor is like fancier in quotes.
It is
like
fancier.
The food offerings really don't meet that. Yeah, I feel like
it's more like a lot of times we get fajitas and chips and guac and salsa and a margarita flight and we have a good time. It is fancier on the inside, and if like it depends. Like sometimes you go in there and it's super quiet and it's like it feels kind of more upscale. Like if you're in there. But then we've gone in there too, and we've had like a table of 20 of us celebrating a birthday, and we've just been kind of wild and crazy and having a good old time. It just kind of depends.
They definitely do not have jazz jazz
No,
guitar.
Chi-Chi's.
Smooth jazz guy.
Chi-Chi's. No, Chi-Chi's did not have that. But there's no place in Disney World that sells like the humongous
The fishbowl.
margarita.
The fishbowl.
Right. There's no place that has
I know they
that.
have like kind of restrictions on that, don't they?
They probably do.
That's probably a
Yeah.
good idea. That's let's mark
Yeah.
that up to common sense.
Well, I remember. I know this is Friday, right? We're just kind of talking, but I remember I was at Three Bridges once at the bar, and this guy went up there. He's like, "Can I get this XYZ drink or whatever? Like, I got this in Vegas. Like, do you know how to make that?" And the bartender was like, "Yeah, I can make that." And they make it, and he gets it. He's like, takes a sip, like, "This isn't how they make it in Vegas. They make it with like these 6 shots of this or whatever." And the lady was like, "Come on, guy, this is Disney. Like, I'm not gonna give you a drink with 6 shots in it."
Right.
He's
exactly.
like, well, forget this. I'm out of here. And then he just like got up and left.
Where
I
do
was
you
like,
think you are?
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It was kind of funny. So yeah, I know they definitely have some restrictions on what they can do for their drinks, which
Sure.
makes sense.
Sir, you are
Yeah.
not in Nevada.
You are not in
No.
Vegas.
No.
Mickey Mouse is always watching.
No.
Mhm.
All right, Pam.
Your double's not even going to be what you expect it to be. If you order something that's a double, I don't think it's a double.
Right.
All I know is I want to go to a Chi-Chi's. Like, this sounds awesome. I hope it comes
If it
back.
reopens, we'll go.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have a BOGP meetup
Heck
at
yeah.
Chi-Chi.
Exactly.
Well, they still
Let's
sell
go.
like their tortilla chips and like salsas like in
Yeah.
the grocery store.
You know
Like,
what?
can
I think
probably
I
see their
have seen.
branding.
I think I have had their salsa because I've seen
Mhm.
like it's like a guy in a sombrero, right, with Chi-Chi's. I think I've had their salsa like at parties, but I didn't know that was like a restaurant. I just thought it was just a brand like old, El Paso or whatever. That's
Yeah,
funny.
it was-
They had
it was a-
restaurants.
It was a restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
I
how'd
think they
miss
still
that?
sell the corn cake mix too.
Stuff you learn.
And it was like so it was sweet. Like I remember this. It was so, whatever. All right. So this is recently for a controversial reason. So what do you think is the Cracker Barrel of
Go
Disney
easy.
World?
We don't want everything getting stripped off the walls and not home. This one for me is easy. I think it's Olivia's.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting. With sort of like a tropical flair.
With a tropical flair, right? Because it's got all the junk. I mean,
Yeah.
this is pre-refurb or whatever we're calling it. Because here nor there, but I just like the old Cracker Barrel because I just like it reminds me of my grandma's house because my grandma had the big, she had the big fork and the big spoon, like wooden spoon on the. I mean, my grandma's kitchen was like that, like it had just junk hanging everywhere. But I love this is where I grew up in the '80s. This is how it was, and she always made chicken and dumplings, and we had breakfast for dinner. I mean, it was going there was like going to grandma's, and they sold. I don't know if they still do, but they sold Charles chips in the store. And Charles chips are what we always had growing up. I don't know if you ever had Charles chips. So
I don't
good.
know that I have.
Oh, they're the best. They're like, oh my God. They came in a big can. If you had like a subscription, we did.
Oh, I think I've seen the cans.
Yeah. But I mean, you could get the bags at Cracker Barrel and like the old country stores. They still sold them. Like I got them just not too long ago at our one here by the interstate. And they're salty, but they take you right back to like the 80s and the 70s. Because my grandpa's name was Charles. And so grandma would always get Charles chips when I was a kid. And we had so many of those, and they're so stinking good, Charles chips. But anyway, I think it's Olivia's just because it's like, you get biscuits. You get like, well, you get biscuits, but you get like bread at the table. Like it's that homey food, chicken and
Right.
dumplings. And
Yeah.
they have dumplings on that. But I mean, there's buttermilk chicken and potatoes and green beans and stuff like that. It's that country food, and it's got the stuff on the walls, ceiling
Yeah.
fans.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a great answer because like you had the breakfast, lunch, and dinner offerings there
agree,
too,
yeah.
and the gift shop kind of is really
Oh,
close.
that's a good point. Yeah, it almost
True.
it's almost got a little
Yeah.
country story. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
I think the only other thing I was thinking of was boat rights. Is sort of like that. I mean, it has more of a theme and it's not quite like having like little kitschy things, but it does have a whole bunch of stuff all over the walls that's supposed to go with their theme, and they sort of sell that like a version of an all-you-can-eat skillet that has like ribs and chicken and stuff like that on it. So I thought that was a good one too, and it just sort of felt like that. But yeah, the whole Cracker Barrel thing.
And I know with their branding. Yeah, to like kind of like think off a different way here, like I was gonna go with like is it like the Crockett's Tavern now? Like what's the old like Trails End? Because now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a quick service kind of place now, and like it kind of has that Western vibe, you know, a little bit, and you can get some fried chicken still in there. It's just not as a full sit down meal anymore, but I think you can still like go in there and like order, and like
Trails
there's some
End, you
tables.
can.
Yeah. Okay.
So Crockett's Tavern's like a lounge now, and it has like some lounge foods. Like it has like fried green tomato sandwich and like sliders and stuff like that, and a bunch of different like
Oh dang, that
interesting
sounds good
drinks.
actually.
I know. So the drinks were actually really good too. But yes, at Trails End, you can do that because I will say, when I was down there, we spent a night in the new Fort Wilderness cabins. And we did end up going there to Trails End, and you can get like fried chicken and ribs and all things that you would think to find at Trails End. So
And
yeah, the
that's
whole
that's a
area.
quick service restaurant now, right? Instead of
Yep.
that's such a loss. That was one of my favorite places to eat because that would have been like a good comparison, like for sit down. That was probably a
You
top
can still
five
use it
restaurant.
though. I feel like it's still a
Yeah,
good
you could
comparison,
still
you know?
use
But
it.
yeah, because I think there's still tables there though, right, Pam? Like you
Yeah,
can
there
still
are.
sit in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. So you can still go there. You can get it. It's just not a buffet anymore.
Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
still have all the
So
stuff.
does the restaurant still? Because I've been in there since they switched it over. What did? So are like the tables in the same spots as when it was a table service restaurant, or they made it smaller? Or like
So the lounge takes up like part of the building now, like much more than it used to.
okay,
And then yeah, but there are still like tables and stuff like that. It's like half the restaurant's lounge and half of it's the tables for Trails End
did they
too.
close up that part where the buffet used to be, like that little section where the tables were near that?
So it's actually more like sort of their quick service, like you can sort of walk around and they have like the stuff that you find at other quick services, like the cookies or chips
Yeah,
or like some little like grab and go
yeah.
items and stuff like that.
I gotta
That
get over
makes
there.
sense.
I used to love that restaurant. I mean, it's probably still good, so gotta get
Yeah,
it.
I mean it's like the
And
same offerings
Yeah.
basically. It's just
yeah,
not
it is.
During,
It's
unlimited.
remember during COVID, that
right.
was like one of the best steals. They had that meal that you get in the bag.
So I think
Oh
they
my
still have the
gosh.
meal there.
Oh, do
It's
they?
They
like
That
have a
that family bundle or
oh,
something.
yes,
that was a
they do. They have a
steal.
family bundle that you
Yeah, it's
can
a
get.
good value.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
that's
It
a
is.
great value.
and like honestly, like the buffet at Trails End was kind of expensive when you thought about it. Like and
Yeah,
then
it
like
was.
and
Sometimes.
like how many times were you going back up there for more food? So I feel like the new version is actually a pretty good value, honestly.
Well, especially when it was like fried chicken. Like, how much fried chicken can you
Right.
actually eat?
That's the thing, is that kind of food was so heavy, and like
Yeah.
you would have good intentions and they had good desserts, right? So you'd like, oh man, I want to go get more fried chicken or go get more like cheesy potatoes. That stuff just kills you. Like, and then
Yeah.
you'd want to get strawberry shortcake, or they had good cookies and but
They had cornbread. They had like,
cornbread. Oh,
hmm
cornbread.
yeah, that's another. It's
Cornbread.
another thing that you really can't eat that much of it because it's like so heavy.
Mm.
Now I need to go to somewhere. All right, so real
Cracker
quick,
Barrel.
the Cracker Barrel. I go to Gingham's. Gingham's my go-to, which is like Cracker Barrel, but it's a family-owned place here. I love it. So I went there Saturday night because of the show on Friday. This show influences where I eat all the time. So my last one, real quick, is White Castle. You're craving. Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. So we all, maybe international listeners might not. White Castle is a place, because it's not all over the country, but it's a slider. It's a little like drive-through slider place. You can sit down inside. Known for cheap little hamburgers that most people say are better eaten after you've had a good time at night. But I eat them all the time. They're not a lot of meat on them. They have onions on them.
They do.
They have a unique taste. They're based out of Chicago, but they have restaurants all over St. Louis and other places. Scott, you got to have them during I stopped and got a sack during our hot chocolate 10K running
That's
on
right, it's the
there
only
was
time
one
I
on the
ever had
course.
them.
Yeah. I was like, you got to have White Castles. I grabbed a sack on the race course, ran ahead. We had them like at like 7 in the morning or something. It was crazy because they're open 24 hours, a lot of them. But so I'm not necessarily looking for like a place where you can get a White Castle, but like that greasy food that you're just like, because people crave White Castles. That's kind of their marketing slogan. Like, it's like the food that you crave. But I mean, it could be a slider. So where would you go with that? If you're looking for like that cravey, greasy, you regret kind of eating it later, but you got to have it kind of thing. Where would you go?
I'm gonna kind of cheat. I'm going to the other coast.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go.
Because and I know you're talking about more on the slider and the burger, but I'm gonna also kind of cheat here because when I think of White Castle, I think of those crinkle cut fries a little bit.
Okay, yeah, those are good fries. Yep.
And there's only one Disney place that I've ever had crinkle cut fries in my life, and that is at Smoke Jumpers at Disney's California
Oh my
Adventure.
gosh, yeah.
And they have them for breakfast.
And they have them for breakfast.
yes, exactly.
You order your breakfast burrito or whatever, and you get a side of crinkle cut fries.
Yes, you do.
It's the weirdest thing.
With
but
like
I
some
love
kind of
it,
good
actually.
seasoning on top of them too. Like they put something on them. Yeah.
But Smoke Jumpers also has like the burgers. They also have like a greasy burger at Smoke Jumpers too. So just I'm most of the time like the potato here with the White Castle a little bit, even though I know it's known for the sliders. But yeah, I'm just getting a Smoke Jumpers vibe here, which is like a kind of underappreciated place. It's an interesting breakfast spot, I will say, at Disney California Adventure. And you're talking about breakfast for sliders in the morning, because they're open at all hours of the day. So I'm gonna go with Smoke Jumpers, is what I think.
That's a creative call. I like it. And I go to Smoke Jumpers all the time because I need protein in the morning, and I get that breakfast burrito. I just boom, and it's
With
so
the
easy.
side of crinkle cut fries.
Yeah, exactly. Those fries are rocking, I'll tell you. And the thing is, it's so easy to get to because it's right there at the front of the park. It's whoop whoop boom, and you're there. I mean, it's just so easy right there at the front of
It
DCA.
is.
All right, Pam, what do you think for like a craveable? Because it sounds like you've had White Castle too.
For liking them, definitely when I was in college, there were some late night runs to White Castle. I can remember that. And I love like a little like a sauteed onion like on my burger. Like sometimes I often think, you know what would make this burger good is if they had little White Castle onions, like because there's just something about that, like being part of the thing. But as soon as you said it, what I thought of was sci-fi, just because like I feel like it has a few different burgers in terms of that, but it's also a place like where you can get like onion rings and stuff like that. I'm just thinking of like sort of not super like elaborate food or anything like that. It's just burgers and onion rings, and that's what I'd get if I were going to sci-fi. Like even though they might have like a salad or a chicken something, I think if you're getting anything other than a burger at sci-fi, you're probably doing it wrong.
You know what? I was kind of thinking the same thing because that is the go-to at sci-fi. I mean, even though it is table service and it's fancy, it's not fancy, but it's that craveable. Like I'm thinking burgers, onion rings, and a shake. Like
yes,
that's because like White Castle, that's usually what I get. Like White Castle does have onion rings. They have good fries, and if I get the fries, I get the cheese fries because they put cheese on top. I either get the cheese fries or I get their onion rings. Then, like I said, the burgers have those sauteed onions on top, and they actually have shakes at White Castle. This is like the worst order ever because you regret this so bad like 2 hours later, but it's sci-fi.
You quickly
regret it. But it's sci-fi do the exact same thing. They have a really good burger, fries, and I would get a shake because it's like a place, I don't know why. Like it just seems like you have to get a shake at a place like sci-fi. I get it at 50's Prime Time too because I get the PB&J shake. But dude, again, it would be so good in the moment, and that's what I would get there. But then, I'd probably be in July or August or October, and then I'd be walking around the park like, what did I just do to myself? Like,
why did I
man,
do
50's
that?
Prime Time, that could have been a Cracker Barrel pick too. That could have been a good one.
That'd have been a great one.
Yeah,
I didn't think
that's
about
true.
that. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we call it a show and just turn it over to the listeners, see what they say. So that was a continuation of last Friday, and we're going to wrap it there. That's it for this topic. But it was fun. We're going to get Pam in on here, and you did you nailed it, Pam. You had it.
You saved me, Mike.
I tried to.
You saved me. I was worried we are going to do one more, and I was going to go Pizza Hut, and I feel like I was really going to struggle with that one. So thank you.
Pizza Hut.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we always got the call-in show, so somebody can help us. That's your get ready, everybody. That's like the on-deck circle for Sunday night. Scott will be on the ship, enjoying his last night on the Dream, but we're going to have a live call-in show. So the first one, jump in, everybody, Pizza Hut. What's the comparison? Give me a call Sunday night. So there you go, Scott. You already started the live show.
Already teased it. I
Love
like it.
All right, so there you go. Live show, teased Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll see you there. It's just us. Scotty G won't be there, so I'll need your calls, so be there. Don't forget our podcast brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We're standing by to help you plan those 2026 Disneyland packages. We can do that now. Also, cruises, late 2026, early 2027. All Castaway Club members can book now. First-time cruisers starting on Tuesday. So let's get that going. All the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com. When you click through there, it supports the show with every purchase. We sure appreciate that. Again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep us on the air. You can support us just $5 a month. And for that, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on our socials at beourguestmike is where you'll find me on Instagram, x.com, and Threads. You can follow Scott at Epscott, EPSCOT. Pam is at TMFLT Pam, and all those places. Scott, real quick, what's happening on the channels over the weekend?
Yeah, so since I'm cruising, no new episodes this weekend. So if you want to tune in and watch our old series from European travels, Walt Disney World Thanksgiving, or our awesome Hawaii series, go check those out. That's the beauty of podcasting and YouTube, right? Those videos and episodes are out there forever. So go check those out, and we'll have some new content when we come back from the ship.
All right. We're going to have a great trip report for you on Monday. And even though it's Labor Day, there will be a show on your feed. We keep it going for you. So see you Sunday night, live call-in show. Don't miss it. We'll be there. So for Scott and Pam, I'm Mike. You guys have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.